So before we find out what happens in New York, we already know one thing that will happen at Blast Pro Series in Moscow. That will be the retirement of Navi legend, captain, leader, Zeus. He's announced that he's going to retire. Moscow is going to be his last event. He first joined Navi in 2009. He had 2 stints with the organization. He is one of the more respected players in the CS scene. I mean, he even started before CSGO was a thing. So, like, he's been around for a long time. He's revered in the community, in esports. What kind of legacy does he leave behind?
I think he's one of the best players, or at least one of the best leaders to ever come out of the Commonwealth of Independent States countries. You know, that's a region, and he talked a little bit about this on Twitter when he announced his retirement. It's a region that's very underserved. There's been a lot of scandal out there with players not necessarily getting paid properly and a bunch of different things that happen in Eastern Europe. And I think that, that's something he said he wanted to work on and be sort of a mentor to the scene and help in and around the scene, both for Counter-Strike and other games. And I think that's something we'll see him take up on. But for a while, he's not been a high-performance player, but he's been a really good leader. And every team he's been on for the last few years has been very well led. You know, when he first got kicked off of Navi, if I remember correctly, in favor of Simple, they lacked leadership. They were a star-studded team, but they didn't have people that could, they couldn't have people that could lead and be authoritative when it mattered in big tournaments like majors and et cetera, right? Despite them having so much talent. And that's something he's brought to basically every team he's been on, especially in the last 5 years. So even though he's not a high fragger and piling up the number of kills, he is someone that is dominant with his voice in the map and in the server, and he makes good plays and makes good calls. And I think that he will go down as one of the greatest players to ever come out of that region.
So interesting, right? I mean, he's a real good teachable moment in leadership, right? Like, just like you said, joining Navi, how he grew through the ranks and how he became a natural leader, and then he left, right? And then the leadership was lacking a little bit. He returned and we saw it come back, and sort of the qualities that he brings to a team and how he communicates, the comms with the team. I mean, this is a really good a case study in leadership in esports.
Yeah, I think that there are a few people like him. You know, we can talk about like High in League of Legends, really well known for that.
Absolutely.
Right, Bjergsen in League of Legends as well. And there are a few of those that not only is their play of pro level, it takes a lot of emotional maturity, right? Part of that which comes with age, which is why we see that more commonly, I think, in Counter-Strike than most games, is because these guys are older. Zeus is not young in esports terms by any means. Yeah, which is
nothing wrong with that. I'm
nothing
just
wrong with
it.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of esports, that's on the older side of player performance at least. And I think that it says a lot, though, that he can get the buy-in of trust from all the players on the teams he's been in and really make them perform. And it's rare. It's rare to see that. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in his post-player career. I think that he is not bluffing when he says that he will help out in other ways. And I hope he does. Yeah. You know, I like seeing players become something else besides players in their post playing career.
We'll end on this, actually. This is a quote from an interview he did on Navi's website. "This is not an end, but a start of a new path. There will be lots of interesting stuff. I want to develop esports and CIS. I want to build a pro academy, engage with the young. I have lots of ideas. I will not be coaching, at least for now. It might happen sometime in the future." So at least he addresses that. So once again, Zeus has announced his very last competitive event will be the Blast Pro Series in Moscow. We wish him the very best in retirement.